Morning, my loves. Happy Friday. It's Friday Ascension update. I am back, and today is the day out of time. It's the 25th of July. Lions Gate is open. Alice, Heath and I celebrated last night with a beautiful event, and here we are. So I want to talk a little bit about kind of the expectation of the energies of what we are experiencing. And this one's a special one. It's a special one because of where we are on the Ascension pathway at this time. And last night during the flow of the event, we were talking about Lions Gate, what it is. I mean, of all the spiritual events over the course of the calendar year, whether you regard the calendar year as kind of fixed or whether it's been tampered with, it does not stray away from the fact that we are in a portal of energy at the moment that is incredibly powerful. Our planet aligns with the galactic core, which opens the doorway to a stream of what we would describe as ascension particulates, both etheric and physical, that have a profound effect on our journey. And during this period of time also, you will notice that the higher realms, the cosmic beings of light that we work with, that are very, very almost hyper-focused on what's occurring on Earth at the moment, will jump wholeheartedly into this space and make sure that everything is implemented and everything that is working. Now, I became aware of Lions Gate as a thing in, I'd say probably around 2013. I had my call to arms in 2008 when Archangel Michael visited me in my bedroom after a life change, told me about my Atlantean heritage, gave me the blue star seal of Atlantis back, and then told me to be quiet and keep it to myself for 4 years. So 2013, or I think it was around August the 1st or the 2nd, my good friend Dinah Cooper first published my blue star seal meditation after 4 years of not being able to speak about it because it had Atlantean energies and the frequency of the planet had to rise enough. So that was the beginning of the journey. So Lions Gate is a time, particularly for me and for all of us, where physical things occur in our reality that shape the pathway, the timeline of our experience here on this world. We have our equinoxes, we have our solstices, we have our moony moons. I mean, we had a Leo new moon yesterday, which was, that was so perfect to be working in that energy. It's all about that leonine roar, that courage, that fire, that ability to create, to step forwards, to be heard, to be seen, to be actively participating in something that makes a positive difference to the world around us. So, what do I feel is expected of us during this period of time? This is the question that I always ask around now. What's Lions Gate going to bring? Now, when I first started becoming aware of Lions Gate back in 2013, 2014, it was like, oh great, it's a celebration of Leo energy kind of thing. I'm a Leo, I've got 4 of my main planets in Leo. And so I thought it would harmonise with me incredibly well. And I suddenly realised that I felt energetically challenged more so during Lions Gate than any other time of the year. So for the first decade, and I'm sure many of you will be able to resonate with this, kind of stagger out the other side of it when it closes, like clasping for Virgo season to come through with a cool, calm, logical energy. And it'd be like, oh, thank God for that. And that's because of the intensity of the changes that occur during this period of time, that alignment, that unrelenting flow of light, and the complete removal of any distortion that we might have with regards to our pathway and the things that are occurring in our lives. And it wasn't until maybe 2018, 2019, that I actually began to see the real physical evidence of the higher realms, the beings of light, beginning to use this period of time to implement new structures, new templates, new foundations of energy, everything that we see and work with during this period of time. So what is going to happen during this period of time after this amazing year? I'm sat here waiting for the energies to come through. Well, not so much the energies, the format, the instructions, the what we're doing and what's going to be occurring. And I'm just being told to stay in flow, drop my expectations, just relax. Kind of almost imagine you are leaning back into a wind that is blowing very strongly and it's holding you. But you've got to trust that, okay? When you lean back, you've got to trust that the wind isn't going to suddenly stop and you're going to fall flat on your bum. So it's leaning into it, leaning into this energy, but doing so with a sense of trust, expectation, positivity. Because it would be very easy at the moment to look at the world around us. In fact, I know people that are doing it on a daily basis, looking at the world around us and going, it's going to hell in a handcart because of the changes that are occurring. The pressure that's being applied to the reality of a lot of souls is creating upheaval. It's creating an incredible release of emotions. I think another thing we were discussing last night, the most incredible part of this year so far, and it is far from over. It is far from over. What has amazed me the most is the removal of the ability for human beings to live within a lie. Okay, and if they're managing to do so, what I'm seeing is people are just basically popping that bubble rapidly. It's a rapid fire dipping into a pool of reality. That's how I'm seeing it. So when that blue light came through on the 29th of March, it flushed all of the spell casting, the hypnotism, the dark magic, everything that was placed upon us to assist us to move through the dimensions, the third dimension, in a state of inertia, hypnotism, sleep, however you want to describe it. That ability has been removed. So the world outside at the moment is reflecting that lack of ability to hide. Okay, so all of these angry people, all beginning to rise up, beginning to take a stand, beginning to see the structures, the powers that were for what they really are, seeing through the illusion, seeing the media manipulation. This is a massive part of this year. So we are going to experience, and we are seeing in real time at the moment, this discord, this unharmony, this lack of harmony. I don't think unharmony is a proper word, is it? So this lack of harmony, this rattling of the cages, the bending of the trees, the wind that blows through. Now, are you a tree that bends in the wind gracefully, or do you snap? Yeah, that's kind of where we are on this pathway at the moment. And the clear message that has come through as we step through into this gateway, into this passage of fast moving energy, is just to be as absolutely still within ourselves as we possibly can be as we move in. But in the process of doing so, we're also being asked to honour and acknowledge the real reason, the true reason as to why we are here on this earth at this time. I mean, it's one of the initial questions that we ask, isn't it? Or some of us do anyway. Why am I here? What am I doing? You wake up. You wake up, even if you had a degree of spiritual understanding before your true awakening. At some point you say, well, what's the purpose of this? Why am I having a spiritual awakening? Why am I being presented with a spiritual pathway? Why are all these changes occurring in my life? Why am I drawn to healing, to crystals, to gathering in groups and honouring the earth and everything else that has occurred or may well be occurring in your life at this moment in time? It's profound. So we ask the question, why? And at the moment, the answer is coming back loud and clear, because you are part of something big. Okay, this is the energy all around me, you, everybody else at the moment, because it's happening. Okay, we're not just talking about it in gatherings on the weekend, on Saturdays and Sundays, when we come together so beautifully with our hearts open. We can be ourselves in a sacred spiritual space. We can use our crystals, we can sing, we can dance, we can speak light language, we can dress as we please. This is now a reality outside of that, and it's happening everywhere in the world around us. You are part of something vast, okay, and this is your master lifetime. Now, we're being asked to take that as it is. I won't use the word, like every word is a spell. Not take it seriously, but honour that mastery, that responsibility, the true reason why you've come down to this planet. Many of us feel rudderless. We feel that, we're cast adrift on an ocean of energies with no real, am I going here? Am I going there? Am I stuck here? Like that old description that you used to get from maybe the 17 or the 1800s, where the sailors are stuck in the doldrums, where there'd be no wind, there'd be no waves, there'd be no current, and the sailors are adrift on the sea in the heat, not moving for weeks at a time, and they'd be in serious trouble unless they got to the shore and got water and provisions. A lot of us feel like that at the moment, like that we're cast in the middle of a sea with no wind carrying us anywhere. But we're being asked to trust, because the doldrums always end. Okay, if there's a period of time where you are floating adrift with no direction, no wind, no rudder, that will cease. Eventually the wind will come, the rain will bring the water, you will find land and food and provisions and everything else. It's a process that is very unique to each and every single one of us, because we've all got our own personal experiences on how we're navigating this pathway. But the one thing that unifies all of us is that we are here for this collective purpose, this united purpose, this huge main event that is occurring. And now I've been talking about this for years. I've been doing this job for over a decade now, and it's always been about the passage of time between 2012 and 2032, the 4D window. So we are coming to the other end of that 4D window now. If you look at it chronologically or on a calendar, we've got less than 7 years left of this process, this pathway that we're moving through. And so much has happened in such a short, minuscule space of time. Okay, if you think about how quickly all of this has occurred, this ascension pathway, the things that have been going on in our lives, whether you are newly awakened or whether you are a more seasoned veteran of the ascension pathway, the time that it has taken for us to shift frequencies has been tiny, minuscule, just not even a second on the cosmic scale. Yet here we are, kind of discussing where we're going, what we're doing, how things are going to pan out on this planet. So I'd just like to reflect on this today, on this day out of time, the Mayan day out of time, with that window of perfect opportunity to set your energies, to set your frequencies, to decide and focus upon what it is that you actually really want, who you are, why you are here, what you are going to do as you're walking through the Lion's Gate, if it means anything to you. There's a lot of us now that have kind of almost thrown the calendar out the window. I mean, every day is a spiritual celebration here on planet Earth, if you look at it from that point of view. Why would the 8th of the 8th be more important than, say, the 3rd of March or the 5th of March or any other date on the calendar? But it doesn't move away from the fact that this is a period of time that is highly utilised by the higher realms, by the angels, by the ascended masters, by the planners, the fabricators and the constructors of the reality that we are participating in. So expect building to be going on around us. David Essery and I will be coming together on the 8th of the 8th, the actual Lionsgate Portal Day celebration. And between now and then, we'll be seeing what comes through. We'll be bringing our ideas together, what's David received, what I've received, what everybody else is receiving and experiencing, but more importantly, what the feedback is coming in. But most importantly, more important than anything else, is your acknowledgement, my acknowledgement, our collective acknowledgement of who we truly are and why we are here. Okay, that mastery, the acknowledgement of the master incarnation. I think if you look at it, if you could just immediately pull up your timeline now, the amount of lifetimes that you've come down here and trained for this, it would put it in perspective for you. Some of you are Akashic readers. Some of you regularly dip your toes into the energies of the halls of Amantai. You will have access to, if you ask for it, if you are in receipt of that kind of energy of information, how many times you've incarnated, or how many kind of cosmic hours you spent maybe at the universities at Sirius training, how many times you will have basically run through the process of stepping down through the portal of Neptune, or maybe you came through the cosmic heart. Wherever you came from, wherever you originated from in this universe, there would have been a process that would have readied you for this experience that you are having now. The one where you are listening to me and it's either making sense or it might not be. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. The fact is that you're here. And so things are really starting to happen now. We can tell they're starting to happen because of the fizzing, the upheaval in the outside reality. That outside reality is a reflection of the shadows coming up for review, to release, to be alchemized within people. The internal disruption is reflected in the outside collective. And of course we have the dear souls of the powers that were, the previous puppeteers, the orchestrators of the 3D matrix, having completely run out of their magic supply. They have no further access to the astral to source or glean their magic from. So they're relying completely on the distracting on foot. Basically create, it's almost like a pay as you go. Create it as you go along. So this is why all of these different things are occurring in the news, in the reality, maybe on your doorstep it might be happening to you, because it produces an energy, and that energy is fuel if it is of a lower density. So being aware of that, as most of us are, as we move through this, it's time to lean into your mastery. If this is a new concept for you, start playing it, start running it around a little bit. Begin to ask the question, why am I here? What is my soul purpose? What am I doing? It's all right, Dora, it's a crow. You know them. Yeah, so asking yourself why you're here, what you're doing, what is your purpose, how may I be of service? And that, as we walk through this Lion's Gateway, is the primary energy construction that I can see around it. It's about us. It's about us actually acknowledging our mastery, who we are, what we're doing here, role to play, to act upon, to become, because the time is now arriving where we are needed. Okay, it's no longer talk in a workshop, it's no longer a discussion on the internet. We are needed. those who are stepping up at the moment are carrying an incredible amount of light. The keys, the codes, the fire letters, the soul activations, everything that we came down for now is being activated at the highest level possible. Soul contracts, master soul contracts are being signed. Okay, if you turn around to Serapis Bay and say, I am ready, you'll be signing that contract. And whatever you have agreed to do prior to coming down for this incarnation will be beginning to play out in your reality. So that is where we are. Welcome to Lionsgate 2025 on this beautiful day out of time. We've been blessed with another sunny one in England, not complaining. So on that note, my lovelies, just a little bit of food for thought. That's the energy that I can feel as we're moving through into this period of time. And I will be back on Wednesday with WAGs. And because it's the last one of the month, I might do a Q&A. So if you've got any questions and answers, send them through to me on my email and I will log them and work through them steadily. And my next event is going to be with the wonderful David Esri on the 8th of August as we are celebrating the peak, the Lionsgate. So I'll put all of the details for these events underneath in the information. Love you all very much and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.